Welcome back to Friday Crypto. My name is Chase, full-time trader and level 1 CMT. Chainlink is on the cards for today. We're going to focus on that. We're going to look at the daily chart. That's what we have in front of us. And then we'll zoom out a little bit, look at the bigger picture, let you know levels that I see in the charts, high and low. So let's get right to it. Daily, right? We last talked Friday, right? We were about $13 thereabouts. We wanted to watch for a close below the EMA 21. That's that yellow line, right? When you start to do that, you can really, face a cool down ahead of you. But until that happens, anything's possible to the upside, right? And that's still the narrative. So watch for the EMA 21, a close below that, right? We haven't got that since our lunar liftoff back in here when we were at around $7 area for Chainlink. Move up, right? This zone, that's the zone we will likely go to if and when this 21 EMA is closed below. So we're watching that this week, right? That's first and foremost. To the low side, that's where we're watching the EMA 21, currently around 1350. You want to watch for that. Now, could we possibly go up before we go down? Of course, right? And our high zone is more evident on the bigger time frames, the weekly, around $19 to $18 area. Could we hit that? Yes. So do I see us closing much above that? No. Monthly and weekly charts show that's a pretty big level for Chainlink. And not that we're not going to break through that eventually, of course. But I think, Bitcoin's looking a little overheated. We're starting to get a little bit of divergences, right? Bearish divergence. A lot of people use RSI. I like to use the MFI a little bit better. It's a little more concrete, less fakey outy. Words of the day, fakey outy. And you'll often see, maybe not often, but I do see some people use divergences incorrect, and they could take a long time to play out. So as you're seeing here, right, you see this is how you properly do it from a CMT, right? Chartered Market Technician. That's what CMT stands for, not country music television like the rednecks thinks. But so downwards movement, you don't draw it from, just the bottoms or just the tops, or, you don't stop it here and then go to the price, up wherever you cherry pick the data. It's where you want to start it from, right? Use that for price and the RSI, or the MFI is a little bit better. The yellow one down here. We'll talk about that in a second. And then you go to where it currently is, and you do the same thing for price. So double check all your favorite YouTubers and see if they're doing this correctly. So you go to where the current price is and where the current price is on the RSI as well. If you want to say, we're creating bearish divergence, you don't do that and then say, well, look, prices are going up. You can't do that, right? Now they are, in fact, but you want to stop them and start them at the same places. Okay, so hopefully you learned something there. Now, why would we use MFI right down here versus RSI? Well, what's the difference? I'm glad you asked. Volume is included in MFI. And there's also another one you could use. It's called OBV, on balance volume. You don't need to check it all the time, but it's great for divergences. MFI is great as well. Much better than RSI. So all the people that you see using just RSI for divergences, they're probably just learning it from somewhere else and haven't actually read a textbook. So that's how to do it. So Chainlink, we have a little bit of bearish divergence, not much, as you saw. It's much less on the MFI. That could still take another several weeks to play out, but it's there, right? We're in. I mean, let's look at the facts here, right? We're in greed, crypto fear and greed index. We're in greed. So how does this even come about, right? It's more people are bullish than bearish, right? It's human sentiment, right? So do I think we can, possibly go much higher than, $18, $19 area for Chainlink before we cool down? No, plain and simple. No, I do not think that, unless Bitcoin is clearing 40K. If Bitcoin clears 40K, of course, anything's on. But I don't anticipate that either, to be quite clear, right? I do not anticipate Bitcoin closing above 40K before a kind of a cool off period, sometime between now and the end of the year. Well, how much longer do we have, right? It's the end of these boxes. So looking at Chainlink, here's January 1st. So could we potentially go up first? Of course, right? We could absolutely do something like this and then kind of, cool off, maybe going into the rest of the year, and then, make our alt season, starting Q1, something like that. Always willing to change based on the data, but that's what I see for now for Chainlink. So, but up is, we're in an uptrend, right? That's the direction, right? And that is the direction until further notice. And what are the facts that would start to change this trend is just simple, right? You don't have to make it too complex. It closed below that 21-day EMA. So watch for that. And then our zone here, right? That's step 2. If we close down, step 3 is magically erase crosses and zigzags. So that's where we're going there. If we break this zone, if you see Chainlink closing below 11, high conviction this holds, right? That's our kind of our macro level 500-day sideways breakout zone, and somewhere between, you know, this zone and this zone should hold. And I know this is a bigger zone, but we're looking at the 200-day and the 100-day in the blue. So those are big moving averages, and well is kind of right in the meat of that zone. So 850 to 950-ish or so should hold if for some reason, right, you know, all hell breaks loose, you know, minus another black swan event, that should be the, you know, TA breakout support zone flip back. So let's zoom out a little bit on the weekly here. You could see how kind of extended Chainlink is right now, but look at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, still quite wide, right? Still way outside of the bands on the top. So prices are high by definition. That's why you follow Bollinger Bands. The band is starting to kind of curl in here, indicating a little bit of exhaustion, but we could get like one kind of final push up here. And why that zone, if you haven't watched any of my other videos, well, let's look, right? The previous kind of, you know, initial tap of $20 back here, back in 2020, you know, the summer bubble of 2020, right? And then also, like, wait, all these, look at all this liquidity in here, all these taps, plus our kind of our bear market high, right? That was our kind of final goodbye, see ya, before sinking into our abyss, right? So that is our new zone, $18 to $19. I don't anticipate closing above this zone before testing one of these zones again. So make that crystal clear. That's that, as they say. You can see this zone, right? Look at all that, right? 500 days of sideways. You got your 200-day, 200 week and 100 week in the blue and red, or blue and pink there. Right towards the top of that zone is going to be a bit difficult, right? Given the breakout here, it would be difficult for us to go back below that without some kind of global uncertainty black swan event. So fear not, if we go back down here, those levels are for buying. That's Chainlink wrapped up in a nutshell. If you have any questions, more on Chainlink, check my other videos or leave me a comment below and we can do more. Going to start making more YouTube videos on altcoins as well, because some of them are coming to life. Believe it or not, and Bitcoin flirting with 38K again as we speak. So watch that. Remember, I still don't anticipate a close, a daily, weekly, or anything above 40K. If that does happen, there's something big brewing, right? Maybe the ETF got approved, right? Something like that. Some kind of outside force or major news event, I think is what it would take, because, you know, Bitcoin has a zone like this as well on the weekly and monthly. So, that's that. Let's get to our, you know, the good stuff. Quote of the day. We choose our joys and sorrows long before we experience them, right? Everything you're good or bad in your life, you're experiencing in your own brain, right? It's your brain that tells you it's good or bad, right? All right, car of the day. One of my absolute favorite car under $1 million, McLaren 720S. And one of my favorite colors in the McLaren, it's Paris Blue. Paris Blue. Why do they call it Paris? I don't know. There it is there, right? It's pretty unique blue. I've seen a lot of blues. I'm not a real big fan of dark blue. I don't really like baby blue or light blue or whatever the shit that is, but this is the blue, right? I don't know a better blue than that. There's the rear, and damn. Active spoiler, right? Anything, I dare you to find a better looking car under 300K. I don't see it. Some of you probably, maybe some people hate this car, but whatever. To each his own. McLaren 720S Paris Blue, or maybe Chainlink Blue. Maybe we rename it. Maybe we just put a nice little hexagon right on the front there. All right, we can do that. Maybe we'll Photoshop one in the next video. Who knows? All right, that's Chainlink wrapped up. Let me know if you have any questions. Also, you want to be looking at the EMA 8. If we get a move back down here, EMA 8, maybe have an open order in there, right? You missed all this, right? But you're like, maybe we won't go back down to $9 or $10. And I could, you know, there's an argument to be had there. So open order, dollar cost average, EMA 8, follow that day over day, week over week, even on the daily chart. Have an open order on the daily, on the weekly, right? Those are the levels you want to look at, right? Especially the 21, right? Imagine you had an open order at 1328 or 1325 or something like that, right? If you have these open orders in, they can get filled, and you just put your stop loss wherever your risk tolerance is below that. I like to do just below the EMA 34, because oftentimes in these uptrends, these downwards movements will stop somewhere around the EMA 21. Even with the wick, they don't often go below the EMA 34, and that holds true for Bitcoin, Ethereum, all your favorite altcoins. Go check them. Go check those bullish throwbacks like this, right? Oftentimes those are going to be good entry points. So just a bonus little tip for those of you watching the entire video. I appreciate you. Rockstar move as always. Let me know what you want to see next. More of altcoins. You need more explanations on how to translate charts or indicators. I'm all for all that. I'm here to help you. If you want more help than what you see here on YouTube, more individualized help, Patreon, right? We have a great private group there, daily updates, much extra stuff there. So check us out. Starts at $35 a month, and I think it's well worth it. If you don't like it, you can just drop off, no problem. But we do daily updates, your ability to ask questions one-on-one, a little bit more personable in there. And, you know, you get to see my ugly face every day. So, all right, I'll see you on the next one. Got a new light over here. Like, I feel like it helps with the Chainlink neon. The camera like distorts it sometimes, so I've added a little light over here. I feel like it, I don't know if it does anything, but it kind of seems like it does. If you notice the difference, let me know. For the two of you that are watching, this is it. Nobody's here anymore. I put these flowers behind me just to hide the cord. I feel like my head does that, but you can see the cord hanging down. You're like, why does he have flowers behind him? It's to hide the cord. It was just an ugly black cord. That's all there is to it. Cybertruck, when is that ever coming out in real life? Never. It was all a fallacy.